Welcome everybody to episode 12 of the Canuckleheads podcast. My name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host Mr. Wes. It is December 11th, 2021. Normally we would go right into talking about the games from the past week, but there were some major changes in the Canucks world this week. So we played the first game against the Penguins. Maybe let's just talk about that game first. We'll go to the Pittsburgh game first, and because that kind of leads us into everything here. So December 4th, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. The Pittsburgh Penguins were in Vancouver. Thatcher Demko got the start. After the first period, it was a solid first. There not a whole lot of high danger scoring chances for or against. Just good first period of hockey. 0-0 at the end of the first. Then we had a goal from Podkolzin. Just a tip on a point shot from OEL. Just after the power play expired. So it wasn't a power play goal, but also Brock Besser got an assist on this one too. Yep. So nice to see the Canucks scoring, still kind of generating on the power play a little bit, even though it expired. Still, you're up a man for a couple seconds.
Yep.
Then the trip to the penalty box, the parade began. Yep. And good Lord. They had 3 men in the box. I believe it started with, was it the Tyler Mott?
Yeah.
Kind of like a 50-50 call, right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Can't be mad that it was called.
No.
Can't be mad that it was missed. It's just kind of, it's up to the referee's discretion.
Yeah.
Then we had, it started with Myers, grabbing the puck, one of the stupidest plays that.
Oh, when he was down on the ice. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Lost his stick, put his glove over the puck, and just tried to throw it down the ice, which is a penalty. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Tyler Myers is a 32-year-old man who's been playing hockey his whole life. He should know it. Then we had the hit from Mott, and then Tucker Pullman just kind of trying to clear a puck, just scooped it right over the boards. So 3 men in the box, 5-on-3, and of course the Pittsburgh Penguins score.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed goal against. Like, you just can't do that.
So the Penguins scored quick too, so they wound up with 2 5-on-3 goals.
Yeah.
And then it was 3-1 Pittsburgh at the end of the second. And it was just horrendous. Like, that's everything that this team can't do. Like, penalty kill.
Yep.
Take stupid penalties that they are forcing themselves to do.
When we start taking penalties, our game just goes right downhill.
Especially when one guy who kills penalties
is in the box.
Yeah, and then you lose 2 more guys who kill penalties.
Yeah, when you have Mott or JT Miller or any of those types of guys in the penalty box, it really hurts you.
Yeah. Yeah, if Miller or Bo take a penalty, like, we're kind of screwed for face-offs there. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was just all downhill in the second period, just like the first time we played Pittsburgh. Very similar. I think it was actually the exact same start, 0-0 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
So, just sucked. The second period, Penguins scored a goal. Jake Gensel had a hat trick in this one.
Yeah.
When you give a guy like Gensel, who's a bona fide 30-goal scorer in the league, and Sidney Crosby all that room on a 5-on-3 for 2+ minutes, like, it's more often than not they're scoring on you.
You give those guys time and space, they're putting it in the back of your net.
So towards the end of the third here, the fans were audibly frustrated. There was fire-banning chants going on. Like,
they threw a Horvat jersey out on the ice. It wasn't pretty.
We should talk about that.
Yeah.
As shitty as the season has been, I don't think you should do that.
No, but and that's the thing. I don't think it was particularly directed at Horvat. I just think the fans are so frustrated, and it's getting to that boiling point where fans needed a change, and we'll talk about that after we're done this game.
And with the jersey being tossed on the ice, like, when I was a kid, right, like, I always wanted jerseys.
Yeah.
Jerseys and hockey sticks. And like, I don't know, and that's a kind of like a symbol of pride, right? Like, this is 100%. Your team. And also, like, you spend your money on it, or it's a gift from somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like, things like that. You know what I mean? Don't just toss it on the ice, like.
Which you've seen the Penguins player scoop it up with his stick and give it back to the guy, because you know he doesn't want to throw a $300 jersey out on the ice like that. But definitely the frustration boiled over. But I get what Justin's saying. You don't want to disrespect your team like that, or just the Canucks colors like that.
The logo in general. Like, like, absolutely, you can be frustrated and you can voice your frustration, but that's just a little far. That's a little far for me. So yeah, Penguins win this one 4-1. Wes and I both said the Canucks were going to win this 3-2, so all three of us are kicking it off with a loss here.
Shot in the foot, yep.
And there were some repercussions from this game, big time within the Canucks organization.
Big time.
So after this game, we had a couple of firings. Travis Green, head coach, Nolan Baumgartner, assistant coach, and Jim Benning were all let go, and Jim Weisrod, assistant GM. So,
yep.
First and foremost, before we really get into it, let's whether we like their moves or not, just it's a shitty situation, right? Yeah. 4 guys are out of a job.
Yeah.
Just before we get into it, thank you to all 4 guys for your work and everything with the team. You never want to see anybody lose a job or anything like that, but it is time for a change here. So
yeah, everyone besides Jim Benning that was fired, I felt extremely bad for. I felt like all those guys gave a lot of passion to the team and they gave a lot of effort to the team. And Jim Benning, not so much. I just felt like he was kind of throwing Green out to the media to dry sometimes and not really doing his full job all the time, which kind of sucks to see. But at the end of the day, I think it was a change that was needed.
Yes, and that kind of goes back to what we talked about a couple episodes where I said I don't think Benning is a leader, and that just further example.
And look what happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? You called it.
And not a shot against Benning. He obviously anybody would have took that job, right?
For sure.
He was just over his head.
He had no GM experience before this, so to be named a GM and to do he made some good moves, he made some terrible moves.
Yeah.
From a first-time GM, you could expect that. You know what I mean? He had no experience, so.
And 8 years was too much.
Way too much.
We were too patient on this, which Francesco Aquilini, the owner, said he made the decision to hire Bruce Boudreau to replace Coach Green.
Yep.
Without Benning, so that right instantly that's the sign, right? Like that Benning's not.
You're not in the picture. Yeah.
So we had Stan Smeal coming in as the interim GM till we kind of later in the week, I believe it was Thursday, we replaced him with I don't want to say replaced. We hired Jim Rutherford to be our kind of interim GM. So.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That was a very temporary move just till we found a guy, which we found a president now, which I think is the perfect role for him. I don't like him as a GM. I think that he's a little past that time. Like, he's 70-something years old, and he did make some bad moves on the Pittsburgh Penguins. He did make some good moves on the Pittsburgh Penguins.
If you look at his track record, right?
He's won cups
3 times.
No, 100%.
And back-to-back in Pittsburgh.
And that's what we need. We need a guy with experience in the position, which he definitely has. And now we can bring in a GM who can really work with him, and then we can build a great team.
And, I don't know his track record for trades that well, but I'm assuming it's not as bad as Jim Benning's. First off, the worst trade I can think of is Pearson for Eric Goodbranson.
That was one that was pointed out, and then there was a Reeves trade that was pointed out as well.
Yeah, he traded Reeves from the Penguins.
There was a couple questionable trades, but at the end of the day, you're trying to piece together a team. Sometimes things don't go your way. You know what I mean? You're not always going to hit the nail on the head. It's just what it is.
And the way our team is built too, right? You look at it Rutherford inherited Fleury, Letang, Malkin, Crosby, right?
Yeah.
We have good pieces. We have Petey, Brock, Bo, Miller, Hughes, Demko. We have pieces there that you can definitely build around.
Yeah.
The hard part, maybe not the hardest part is done because you have those
core pieces.
Elite pieces.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It is just a case of building around it now, which hopefully Rutherford can do.
Yep, and with the help of maybe a younger GM, I'd like to see a younger GM come in.
Somebody who has a updated way of thinking the game. And
exactly. There was a guy mentioned that's kind of in the runnings for it. He was a former GM for the Colorado Avalanche. Apparently he's a younger GM that's kind of in the running for it. I'd like to see a guy like that get the opportunity, and then they can really work together and piece together a good team for us.
This kind of goes back to, again, because we've been doing this for so long now, how we talked about the Kyle Beach situation and how the NHL is a old boys kind of league.
And just recycled.
And this is a little bit of that, but it just for a temporary situation, right? Rutherford's not here for a long time. Boudreau doesn't have a long-term contract. This was just has to happen now.
Yep.
Let's band-aid it. And then, so yeah, hopefully we get kind of a fresh way of thinking in. Like,
which I think it was a great band-aid because we're getting guys with the experience needed, like Travis Green, new NHL coach, Jim Benning, new NHL GM. Like, we need guys that have the experience to say, this is what we're going to do, and we got those guys now.
Like, every fan base will say this, but like, Canucks fans truly deserve better than we've got over like the last couple of seasons, right? Like, we just want to see a winner.
Yep.
For me, Benning kind of got lucky, right? Like, he inherited the team that made the playoffs in his first year.
Yep.
The bubble was a crazy circumstance where we weren't even in a position. We weren't in a playoff position.
No.
We were a bubble team that won their play-in round.
Yeah.
Like, if the season just would have ended how it would have without COVID, we were making the playoffs.
Yep.
We would have been once in 8 years in Benning's first year.
Yep.
Like,
to, like you said, a team he just took on.
Yeah.
He didn't build that team whatsoever.
So, again, like, thank you to all those guys for your hard work and everything. I don't hate Benning for...
Me neither. I don't think he gets another job in the league, honestly.
Not as a GM.
No, I feel like other GMs just kind of knew they could bully him and kind of knew that they could get the picks they wanted off him or whatever. Like, I feel like he didn't have much respect around the league, and the guys we're bringing in have respect around the league.
Yeah,
so.
And for a guy, too, that always talked about, drafting well, traded a lot of picks.
Yep.
Traded a lot of picks.
Yep.
Before we get on to more games, I want to talk about Stan Smyl, who is just like the ultimate Canuck.
Steamer.
His number 12's in the rafters.
Yep.
First Canuck to have his number retired. Former captain.
Yep.
2-0 as an interim GM.
Yep.
First Canucks GM to never lose a game. We'll go over that later.
Yeah.
But been with the organization for basically his whole career, life.
Yep.
Just as much as you think of like Trevor Linden, the Sedins, like Smyl is up there too. Like,
yeah.
It's hard for like guys like us, right? We weren't around when he played, so we didn't really see that side of him. But just been with the team for forever, And I don't think he wanted to be the GM at all. I think he just did what he knew he needed to do and step into that role for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think he was expecting to be there that short. I thought maybe he
a little longer.
Yeah. But
that's what I kind of thought too, but I thought it was awesome how he went into the dressing room and he just gave the boys a speech of a lifetime. Like, you got to have pride when you wear these colors. You don't come and lollygag around here on the ice. When you put this jersey on, you're playing your ass off. You're giving it everything you got. And coming from his mouth, that meant a lot to the boys, and you could tell the next game we came out firing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like a guy who's bled for the team, who's put the team on his back, was here when we were a horrendous, like, still fairly new team.
Yeah.
And, like, just worked every day, was just a hard-nosed player. And yeah, you have to respect Stan Smyl.
100%. And when he talks, you listen.
Yeah. And yeah, he's just the ultimate Canuck.
Yeah.
So thank you, Stan, for going 2-0 as a GM.
Stan for being the man.
Yeah.
Good old Steamer.
So yeah, nothing but respect from the Canuckleheads for Stan Smyl on this one too. Okay, so with all the changes, we had our first game with Bruce Boudreau as the head coach. It was the LA Kings in the house, December 6th. Thatcher Demko starting again. Bruce Boudreau's first game as a coach. Alex Edler's first game back in Vancouver.
Yep.
Signed with the Kings in the offseason. We had a nice little ovation for him. The crowd, gave him a standing ovation, and he deserved it.
100%.
At this point, he's the best Canuck defenseman in franchise history till Quinn Hughes decides that he is, which is coming. Like,
Not going to take very long either, yeah.
But yeah, he is just a horse for the Canucks since he came into the league. I remember his first year. After a handful of games, he was a 20-minute-a-night kind of guy. Yeah. He just was eating solid from his first game on. Yeah,
and when he played with the Sedins, it was like their three brains were connected out there. Like
Swedish connection.
Yeah, 100%. It was crazy.
And yeah, he's just kind of a continuation on a tradition of Swedish Canucks, right? Like it's been going on for forever. It seems like Thomas Gradin, Naslund, Sedins, Petey, Edler,
it just flows through the team.
The Canucks are Sweden and Canadian.
Yeah.
So this one was 0-0 after the first. Solid first period by the boys. Into the second period, we had a goal on the power play. Brock, the Professor Besser, sniping 101 was in session. Not necessarily his nicest shot. It kind of Drew Doughty kicked it in.
Yeah, it wouldn't even have went in if it wouldn't have hit Drew Doughty's foot, which he also kind of angled the skate, which knocked it in. But at the end of the day, it's just nice to see Brock get rewarded for shooting the puck. The new coach instantly, Boudreau, he said, Brock, I want you to keep shooting the puck. Just shoot it. Quit making those unselfish plays. Just be selfish, shoot the puck, and look what happens. Yep. First game with the new coach, he shoots the puck, he gets a goal.
And from a different spot, too. This Brock was in the bumper on the power play here, so a new wrinkle from Boudreau. And it makes sense, right? Like a guy 100%. Who can wire a puck like that.
Yep, he's
put
a
him
shooter.
In the slot or the bumper.
And he's good at roofing it from close quarters as well, which that's kind of what you need in the bumper position, because sometimes the goalie's already laid out by the time it gets chipped out in front, and just roof it.
And then we had another goal from Connor Garland. It was just a good shift from the Garland PD Pods line, which I love. That's
me too.
I think might be my favorite line to watch right now.
Yep, and I just think Pods and Garland are just like connected as well. So
we talked about pairs before, and they're definitely a pair.
Yep.
Pods missed the net on a shot, and Garland is just so tenacious and
just made it happen.
Speedy, just did a wraparound and tucked the puck in. So 2-0 Canucks after that. At the end of the second. Then we got a goal from Lamico, who scores his first of the year. I believe he was scratched 5 games in a row before this.
By Green.
Yeah.
So new coach comes in, gives Lamico the opportunity, and look what happens.
And you don't want to... Like, Lamico is not a key piece, right?
But hey, he's a great third or fourth line slot-in guy where, like, if we need some energy that night, put him in the lineup, he'll give you that.
I'm trying to not blame Green for not playing him, he won a couple games without him in the lineup. I get it.
Yeah.
He's not like taking a JT Miller out of the lineup or something. No,
for sure. I just feel like it's nice to have a fresh perspective come in and just kind of roll some guys out there maybe who weren't getting an opportunity for a few games, and then those guys are going to come in with a lot of energy because they've been sat.
Yeah. So maybe it's just kind of a fresh start for Lamico. Yeah. Who, you get scratched 5 games in a row, you got to start to wonder, like, does this coach like me, or like
does he hate me?
So
exactly.
This was just horrendous turnover from the Kings. Just threw it out to the slot to Lamico, and
he had all
kinds
day.
Of time. So nice to see Delamo get rewarded with one.
Yep.
Then on the power play, we had JT Miller with a cannon of a one-timer, 97 miles per hour.
Yep.
Great shot. Bo and Besser got the assist on this one.
Yeah.
And just a laser. Also, in listening to the Rink Wide podcast, Jeff Patterson mentioned that there might have been an NHL first in this game. Elias Pettersson had a penalty shot against Cal Peterson, and both wore number 40.
That's crazy.
So, kind of thinking maybe it's the first time a shooter and a goalie in a penalty shot had the same number.
Yeah, and almost the same name. Very similar name.
PD didn't score on that, by the way, or we would have talked about it. He just
missed the net.
But, so Thatcher Demko with a shutout in this one.
Which he well deserves.
Yes.
He's played lights out for us, so to see him get the shutout, I think the boys were more pumped about that than the amount of goals we put up.
Yeah, I believe this was his birthday also today. So
was it this one or the next one? I can't remember.
I think it was this one.
Was it? Okay, yeah.
So happy birthday, Demko.
Yeah, nice to see him get a dub on his birthday for sure.
But the team looked different. They had jump. There was give a fuck in this game. They were playing with purpose. Like it was just very refreshing to see. Like, we got the wins in Ottawa and Montreal, and that kind of like tided us over a little bit. This looked different. Yeah, this looked like a team that had a reset.
It looked like every player on the ice was invested. Every player on the ice was trying 110%, which we were lacking in the other games. There was guys that I could pinpoint and say, this guy's not giving it his all tonight. I can tell. And with a coaching change, you would hope, especially with Steamer coming in the locker room and giving the speech he gave, that the boys would go out there and give it 110%, which they did, and it was great to see.
Yeah. So score predictions, Canucks win this one 4-0. Wes said it was a 4-2 win. I said it was a 3-2 win.
So, pretty close.
Close.
Yeah.
And then let's go to the next game here. Game number 2 of the Bruce Boudreau era. The Boston Bruins, December 8th. Thatcher Demko starting again.
Yep.
No OEL in this game.
No.
Kyle Burrows was back in the lineup. But one thing I noticed right away is that Boudreau separated Bo and Pearson. They were on different lines for the first time in a long time.
Well, thank God. I've been calling for that for how long? I just wasn't in love with the fact that he put him with JT Miller and Brock Besser. But whatever. We'll get into that in a minute.
So this, again, it was just a solid first period. Nothing at the end of the first. In the second, Eric Holla had a breakaway goal that was negated by an offside from a coaching challenge by Bruce Boudreau. So
just kind of received the puck a little bit behind the feet, which put him offside, and it was a nasty goal for sure. It was
a nice goal, yeah.
Yeah, but it was offside, thank God.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a killer, but a good coach's challenge. So
yeah. Which I guess we could kind of mention this now. Bruce Boudreau hasn't made a bad challenge yet, but we'll get into that as the next challenge comes in the future.
But yeah, then we had a power play goal from Brock, the Professor Besser, sniping 101 in session again.
Number 6, baby.
Not really a snipe. He
but hey, and he's getting these dirty goals, but that's like Boudreau said, shoot the puck. Good things happen. He's been shooting and he's been getting puck luck.
Yep.
And it was funny because when Green was coaching, he was getting these snipe opportunities, but constantly just hitting the bar and going out. And it's funny that now with Boudreau, he's saying just shoot.
Yeah. And
now he's getting all this puck luck when he didn't have it before. But hey, it's working for him.
We should have mentioned too, I believe Brock had 8 shot attempts this first game with Boudreau. So his message is clear, and it got through to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was just a tip on net. A good shot pass from JT Miller. This was 1-0 Vancouver after 2. In the third period, Luke Shen pulled a puck off the line to save a goal on the penalty kill.
It was sitting dead in the crease. Like, one guy just had to jam it in, and he absolutely just shovels it to Demko and just completely saves it.
Yeah, so, again, Luke Shen we praised a lot the last 2 weeks. He's keeping up the good play and, just a great awareness, right? To see that puck on the line, not panic and, do something stupid, like put your glove on the puck and try and throw it out of the zone.
Yep.
So, again, Luke Shen just continues to be a solid addition to this team.
Yep.
Then we had a stupid penalty from JT Miller to put us down 5-on-3 again.
Yeah.
It was goaltender interference. Miller just cut into the crease and tripped Swayman, I believe his name was, and just to me, these are the plays along with some of the bad passes that keep JT Miller out of maybe that elite tier in hockey.
Yeah.
This guy is such a good player. There's just 1 or 2 mistakes a game where you're just like, how does a guy this good do something like that?
Yeah, and it's so weird because this season especially, you've seen him really trending in the right direction with not taking those dumb penalties. Yeah. Because last season it was crazy.
We'll give him credit. He has cut way back.
It's just especially in a game like this where it's a must win.
And you're up 1-0.
Exactly. To take a penalty like that, it's just stupid. It doesn't have to happen, and it puts us behind.
And again, while you're on the penalty kill, and we talked about this,
we lose a centerman.
That's your best or second best faceoff guy. You're only guy that's one of 2 guys that's above 50%, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, the Bruins score immediately on the 5-on-3 because that's just what happens.
Yeah. And the Boston Bruins are a good team, don't get us wrong. You go down a guy to them, it's a dangerous situation.
And they really, that first line it's their first power play unit, and they're so good 5-on-5, and then that's their first power play unit, so they're great 5-on-4. They're lethal 5-on-3.
Yeah.
You know,
it's scary.
Yeah, just a tough one for Miller. But we go to a shootout in this one. And who comes up clutch in the shootout?
JT Miller.
You see both ends of it, and you're just like, we love this guy, but this is why this guy drives us crazy too, all in a matter of 15 minutes.
And this is what he's saying about being really put in that elite tier, is that's really just all that's holding him back is those stupid penalties. You eliminate that from your game, and all people see is the highlights.
Yeah, he's just a game changer.
It elevates your game to another level.
So Miller scores in the shootout.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is something I said a couple podcasts ago was, why does JT Miller always just swing wide left and throw a weak shot on net? I want to see him deke. Throws a nasty deke on him and puts it into an open net, basically. So, JT Miller, keep it up.
And then Bo scored the shootout winner. So, again, nice to see the captain coming up clutch.
Yeah, just put the final nail in the coffin.
One thing I just had noted here is, like, both goalies were amazing in this game. Like, again, I've made it very publicly known, I do not like the Bruins. I'm not a fan of anybody who puts on that jersey. I respect Patrice Bergeron.
No, for sure.
I'll put that out there, but I'm not ever going to cheer for the guy.
No.
But yeah, both goalies were terrific in this game. This could have been like a 6-5 kind of game, and it just...
Thatcher Demko coming up strong again.
Yeah, stopped all 2 shooters he faced in the shootout.
Yeah.
So Canucks take this one 2-1. 2-0 in the Bruce Boudreau era.
Yeah.
2-0 in the Stan Smyl era. Those are his 2 wins there.
Let's go.
Score predictions. Wes had 5-1 for the Canucks. I had 4-3 for the Canucks. Both way off, but we got the victory, right?
We got the dub. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. So on to the next game. The Winnipeg Jets were in the house. This was Friday night, December 10th. Before this game, the Thursday, that's when we announced Jim Rutherford as the interim GM and the president of Hockey Ops, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, those are Stan Smyl's 2 wins against the Bruins, which counts as like 12 wins really because it's the Bruins.
Yeah.
But again, in this one, we talked about it last episode when we were doing our score predictions. I thought this was going to be the Team America goaltender battle.
Yep.
We didn't get Connor Hellebuck again. It was Comrie starting for the second time that the Canucks played the Jets. So
yep.
A little disappointing there. I thought this was going to be a goalie showdown, but anytime you get the backup, you're always licking your chops, even though there's no real bad goalies in the NHL. You don't have to play against Connor Hellebuck, who's Connor Hellebuck, who's like a top 3 goalie in the league.
He's unreal, yep.
Yeah. No OEL for this game either. Before this one, they said he's going to be out about a week, so hopefully he's back quick because we only have 1 top 4 defenseman, in my opinion, after that. So
yeah, and you've seen Brad Hunt slotted into the lineup, which I don't know if I was really thrilled about that, but I kind of like Bruce's comments, just kind of saying like he doesn't always perform as well as you want him to, but at least he goes out there and puts up a good effort and plays a decent game, which this game, actually, he played pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at his performance. He even got into the zone a couple times, tried to make some plays, so it was a good game from him.
Yeah, I don't have anything noticeable here where I'm like, what the fuck was Hunt doing?
Yeah, but we do have one of those from Chase on. We'll get into that later.
Another thing we should have mentioned too, in that first game with Boudreau, the fans were like singing Bruce There It Is.
Yeah,
and like
that's awesome.
How often do you hear that for a coach? Like that just shows that the whole fan base
they were
was
into
ready
it.
for the change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone was ready for it, but it was funny, his comments after, they kind of said like, hey, did you notice that they were saying Bruce There It Is? And he said, wait till I lose 2 games in a row, they'll be saying Bruce There He Goes. So it's kind of funny, the mentality that he has right now. He knows he's got a kind of fragile team on his hands that he has to really work with, and look at us go. We got a 3-game win streak on our hands, but
spoiler alert.
I'm sorry.
So in this one, we had a goal from Niels Höglander, who, since Boudreau had kind of taken over the team, he'd been a little bit quiet. Hog has been like, he's had like quiet good games, but he hasn't really scored in a long time. So
I think 10 or 11 games.
It was a while without a point. So nice to see him get a goal. We were talking before this. I said I was starting to get worried that he would be the guy that Boudreau was kind of like, he's not that great.
And
so
bump him down.
Yeah. So it's good to see Hog get going too, because he's important to the team. Like,
very important. He's a high energy guy, and he makes good plays. He's especially good along the boards. Like, we need Höglander up there in the lines.
It was a great breakout pass from Quinn Hughes to Bo Horvat, who fed Höglander the puck in the slot, made a nice kind of like tip pass to himself between his legs.
Yeah, it was like a sweep behind, barely caught it, backhand up top.
Backhand top corner.
Yeah.
Just a very beautiful goal. That's kind of what Höglander does.
Yeah.
What do I have going on here? So many notes. So we had another goal from Höglander too towards the end of the first, where Demko stops Wheeler on a breakaway. Then the puck goes to the corner, and Tyler Myers decides to set Kyle Connor up for a one-timer, which Demko stops again. And then Bo picks up the puck, and same thing, drop pass to Höglander, who shoots like kind of a muffin, just tips weird off Comrie's arm, goes up and over and in the net.
Yeah, and it deflected off a defender's stick, then hit the goalie, and then trickled into the net. Yeah. That's why it especially looked like a muffin, because the pucks just stop, and then finally trickles in. But it was nice to see him get number 2 for the night.
So, just to reiterate how fucking good Thatcher Demko is. Stops 2 grade A scoring chances.
By 2 grade A goal scorers.
Gets an assist.
Which they discredited him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they took the assist away.
Really?
Yeah, it
sucked. That's bullshit.
And they asked him if he thought it was BS, but he said, like, did the puck just go off of me or did I pass it off my tape? And they said it just went off you, which he said, like, I think they took that out a few years ago.
Man touched the puck.
I know.
You got an assist in my book, Patrick.
I know.
That's 2 weeks in a row that Demko's got an assist.
Yep.
I'm counting it. But yeah, just, again, this man is saving or making this team somewhat respectable.
I don't even think we get these 2 wins in the shootout or in overtime without Demko.
Yeah, no. Hoglander with 2 goals in the first here. This one was, I think there was 19.2 seconds left, so bit of can be one of those heartbreakers if you're the Jets, but we'll keep going here. So 2-1 at the end of the first. In the second period, we had a goal from Gnarly Garley, who was all alone on a breakaway. Good pass from JT Miller.
Right up the middle.
Connor Garland, backhand, forehand, has 3/4 of the net, just slides it past Comrie. I don't think Connor Garland has been in on a goal where you were like, man, that was ugly.
Yeah, no.
Every time you're like, that was
beautiful.
Some highlight reel shit.
Yep.
He's just like, maybe not like those grade A highlights where you see on like the JT Miller going through 3 guys on the power play, but definitely not your average goals.
No, definitely not. And that fake that he sold to that guy, like, he faked so hard to the left and then sweeps it back right. And I don't think people realize in a pressure situation how hard it is to handle the puck that cleanly, especially that close to the goaltender.
Yeah.
He makes it look effortless.
And knowing you have pressure coming from behind, like the defenseman's trying to catch up to you. Like
100%.
It was just, it was a
money
top tier move. And Connor Garland is like just a human highlight reel.
Seriously.
Even on plays where he doesn't score, just the way he handles the puck.
100%.
Bank passes off the boards behind him to himself. Like just every game with this guy. And
he's been getting guys off the back of the net as well. Behind the net, he's doing the Crosby going around guys. Like, you just love to see it.
And about 95% sure that Wes and I are both getting Garland jerseys.
I am 100%, especially if we go to Vancouver for a game here shortly. I'm going to the pro shop. I'm buying the Garland jersey.
Repping the Gnarly Garleys.
No doubt about it.
Then, so as Wes aforementioned, coach's challenge from Bruce Boudreau. Pierre-Luc Dubois was just cutting in front of the nets. Had no Canuck was interfering with him. Just straight up ran into Demko, kind of drug him out a little bit, and the puck went in behind him. Nothing Demko could do because he was interfered with. So
exactly,
Bruce Boudreau 2 for 2 for coach challenges.
Yep, and
saving us 2 goals.
That's the thing about Dubois. Like, there was no defender pushing him into Demko. He just completely interfered with
free
him.
Will.
Exactly, going side to side, and you see Demko knowing he can't push to the other side the way he wants to, so still swings around with the stick to try and save it.
Still trying.
Absolute elite level goaltending. Even though he didn't save it, he was doing everything in his power to save it.
Yep.
Definitely interfered with. I was glad he looked directly at the referee saying, what the hell, you counted that? And then, of course, Bruce challenges it, no goal.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good play by the coach.
Yeah.
So this one was 3-3 at the end of the third. And don't let the 3 goals fool you. Like, Thatcher Demko was ridiculous again.
All 3 of those goals there was nothing he could have done to stop them.
Demko doesn't give up goals unless the team makes a mistake.
They're great A's. Yeah.
It was the Connor goal that Chase made the drop pass, I believe.
Yeah, that one.
Shifley was the one-timer. But
the Shifley one, cross crease, Shifley all alone.
Yeah. But yeah, on the Kyle Connor goal, Chason just made a bad drop pass. Didn't get the puck past the blue line, kept it in our zone. Didn't have to make the Jets change. Didn't back check hard enough on Kyle Connor, so bit of a negative on Chason there.
Yeah, bad move.
Also, while we're on the topic, man, Kyle Connor is a good player. You hear about him more than we see about him because we watch Canucks games mostly, right?
And I'm not a Winnipeg fan whatsoever.
Just, he's got kind of the Brock thing where you just, from an outsider looking in, you just think of him as a sniper, but he's just a good all-around player.
Yeah, his speed looked phenomenal, his playmaking ability, and just knowing where the play's going. Like, he had that one rush there, that one breakaway where he read it perfectly. He came just outside the zone, started swinging back in because he knew the team was stealing the puck. he just reads plays really, really well, and his goal scoring ability is top notch.
Yeah, he's really elevated his game this year. So.
Yeah, and
Jets fans, you got a good one there.
It did kind of suck to see their captain Wheeler go down. You don't like seeing a guy get injured, especially a knee injury or an ankle injury. Those are tough ones. Yeah, so hope you get better soon.
Yeah, he just kind of got rolled up on somebody.
Podkolzin.
Yeah, somebody was going
slid
to the net.
Into him.
Yeah.
So,
nothing. No ill intentions or anything.
No,
just an
complete
accidental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recently played his 1000th game, so we hope Wheeler gets better soon.
Yeah.
So in overtime, Thatcher Demko stops Nikolai Ehlers on a breakaway. Again, this guy is just like. There might not be a better goalie in the league.
No, I don't think there is. I think the way Thatcher Demko's playing right now, he's in a league of his own. He's up there with the best of them.
And this goes back to what you talked about too, how you wanted to see him get back to that bubble. This is bubble Demko. But we're there.
Which it's funny because they said that fans are getting annoyed with the fact that they keep referring to him as bubble Demko. But the guy made like 96 saves in a row. How could you not refer to it as bubble Demko?
I think also it's fair that we do get rid of the term. This is just Demko.
Yeah.
He's just this guy.
Just call him Dem Show instead of Bubble Demko.
Just ridiculous.
He's the man.
Thatcher the Juggernaut, the Dem Show.
Yeah.
My early vote for Vezina for me goes to him.
100%.
A little bit biased because he's kind of the main goalie we watch, but god damn, he's good.
They showed his statistics, and right now he's ranked like the second best goalie in the league. And like I was saying to Justin earlier, imagine if we don't have those 7 goal game losses
against Vegas, Colorado.
He could be ranked the best goalie in the league right now. Yeah. So I mean, he's lights out. He's definitely the saving grace to our team right now. We're winning games with the help of Thatcher Demko.
So this one went to a shootout. In the shootout, Elias Pettersson with the Peter Forsberg. Looking like confident Petey again.
Yeah.
After he scored, the bench was going crazy. Like, the boys loved it. He went back to the bench. He had a big smile on his face. It was just nice to see. Like, there's been, especially with the penalty shot, like he missed the net. Had a shootout goal where the puck bounced on him. Like, you just want to see him having fun.
Yeah, and exactly.
He was having fun after that. Like,
there's been a ton of criticism on him this season, so that definitely takes a little bit of weight off his shoulders and just lets him play his game.
Yeah, especially when you score that was all eyes on Petey.
Yep.
And he pulls out a move like that, which was after this game too. Corey Hirsch interviewed him and asked him. He's like, Petey, do you know the name of that move you used? And he's like, yeah, it's the Forsberg. And he's like, do you know who the goalie was who Forsberg scored on that? And he's like, no, it was Corey Hirsch, the man you're talking to.
That's hilarious.
In 94, Peter Forsberg pulled that move on
awesome.
Corey Hirsch. So good on you, Corey Hirsch. I'm a big fan of Hirsch. So. Former Canuck.
Yeah.
And Demko stopped all 3 shooters in this shootout. Demko is the best goalie on breakaways, penalty shots, shootouts.
He's proved it.
He just doesn't move. He doesn't bite. He makes you make a move, and he just follows you, and you can't beat him.
Yeah. He stopped 4 breakaway opportunities in the Jets game, plus went 5 for 5 in the shootout. Guy just is unreal.
Unreal. And his save against Blake Wheeler.
Yeah.
Sliding across crease, sprawled out in the glove.
Just getting the glove on it, yeah.
It's every game there's another level
highlight
save
reel.
from Demko.
Yeah.
And went 5 for 5 in shootouts.
Ridiculous.
Didn't even scramble, barely moved.
And some of them just shutting them down with the blocker, it was easy work.
Just standing there and just gone. That's it. He's just... Demko's insane.
Yeah.
So Canucks take this one 4-3 in a shootout. Wes had the 2-1 for Vancouver. I had 2-1 for the Jets. So Wes, I believe, went 3 for 4 for victories. I went 2 for 4. So.
Which will say this, Justin brought this up before the episode. I think I'm 4 for 4 with the off with your heads. Every time I've said off with your heads, we've won a game, so we'll try to keep that going.
So at the end of this week, Canucks went 3-1.
Yep.
3 in a row.
With Boudreaux.
5 of their last 6. This was a good week. This was the best week of the year.
Yep, the energy's been up. It's the first time that we've won 3 games in a row this season, which is kind of sad to say because we're this far in. But the coaching change was much needed. The GM situation change was much needed.
Yeah.
And the boys had the jump that they needed, which I kind of want to talk about Boudreaux's tactics a little bit. I do like that he's more of an offensive coach. I feel like Green was trying to really play a little bit more of a defensive game than our team can handle.
Yeah.
And Boudreau's tactics are more offense, but still being responsible on the back end, which he brought in an element that they practiced a lot in the first practice that we had, was just flipping pucks out of our O-zone and just trickling them kind of into their end zone so that we can get the play moving the other way. Just get it out of our end and let's reset. Let's try get it moving the other way, which really worked for us in those first couple games. You've seen it happening a lot, like guys just flipping pucks out, and it really helped. And then what was the other thing that they were focusing on in practice? You said it was the face-offs, which we talked about in an earlier podcast.
I'm pretty sure I literally said I want you to take the centers and just drop pucks.
Yep, and that's what they did.
That,
yeah, that's good to see.
We have a weird way of kind of predicting shit like that.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times. Yeah. So just keep your eyes out.
And again, how we talked about this kind of last week, like how you are looking at a playoff spot and I look at just that team ahead of us.
Yeah.
Past the Blackhawks last night.
Yep.
By 2 points, Chicago plays tonight, I think. So it's not like, you know what I mean, check it off the board. But that's what we want. Just keep taking those steps.
Yep, and the Kraken was above us last time. They're now below us. They have less games played. Yeah. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But
the only, to really make this a Canucks podcast, the only downside to these 3 wins is that 2 of them were against Eastern teams.
We gave up points.
We gave a point up to the Jets, but we got that extra point. So.
Yep, which helps.
Yeah. Now, after this chunk of the schedule, the next, I think we play 1 or 2 more Eastern teams.
Yeah.
But the majority of December from now on is against Western teams.
Yeah, Carolina and Toronto.
Eastern.
Sorry. Yeah. Toronto.
But we do have Seattle. We have San Jose a couple times. I think we have the Kings. So teams that are ahead of us that's what we need. This is where keep this momentum going. It's great that we're building it up.
Yeah.
But now that it's like the Western Conference teams coming in, we got to really take these points.
100%.
You don't want to see anything go to a shootout or anything like that. Let's get the 2 points
and
let's
not give up any points. Yeah.
But yeah, just a fun week to be a Canucks fan.
Seriously.
We talked about it last episode too, how we had our depression episode.
Yeah.
It just felt like everything was vented after that game against the Kings. There's some worry because you never know how it's going to go hiring a new coach, but 4-0 win. The team played good. It's just feels like collectively us as Canucks fans and the team and management and everybody just kind of got it out.
Yeah.
And now we're winning.
We're moving on.
Things are positive again.
Which against Winnipeg, we didn't play our best game, but we still came out with the win.
Yep.
Demko played his best game, and that's exactly why we won that game.
Yep.
That game could have been blown out of the water if he can't stop even 3 of those 4 breakaways. Thank God for Thatcher Demko.
Yeah, we've had a saying since before we started this that was always in PD we trust, but I think it's starting to move to in Demko we trust.
For real, that's the ultimate saying now.
Yeah, so in Demko we trust, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go over our score predictions here for next week. Let's boot her up. We have the Carolina Hurricanes in town Sunday.
Which this is a fast, highly skilled team.
Yeah, this we talked about this again too. Last week, how we were beating some teams below us, quote-unquote lesser teams. This week we beat some better teams, kind of those mid-tier teams.
This is another test.
Yeah, this is a legit cup contender.
Yep.
So this is kind of one of our first big tests of the year. I don't really remember any other
huge
teams
tests
this good coming into town. So,
yeah.
What do you think, Wes? What's your prediction?
For Carolina, it's just crazy. Some of these goal predictions are getting tough now because against these skilled teams, they've been tight games, but some of them are kind of high scoring.
Yep.
Like the Winnipeg game, 4-3, that's a pretty high scoring game. So if Demko plays the way that he's been playing, which I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, I only see him letting in 2 goals. I see us getting 3-2 for the Vancouver Canucks against Carolina.
Ooh, see, I don't want to be negative and end this fun little ride we're on. But man, Carolina's good.
They are very good.
This one's tough because we haven't played a team this good.
Yeah.
And we're rolling for the first time this year.
Yep. So
it's hard to gauge what kind of team we are.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to go 4-2 Carolina.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and then honestly, you could probably see it going either way. It's either going to be a tight game where we win, or it's going to be...
And I'm not 100% sure if Demko's starting tonight, or tomorrow, sorry.
Yeah.
So that kind of plays into it a little bit. But
you kind of wonder if Boudreau's just like, hey, if Demko says he wants to play, I'll just keep playing until we lose.
Yeah, Wes was saying in Anaheim, I think he played Hiller with like 27 games in a row.
I think it was 30.
So 30 games in a row.
Yeah.
So Boudreau's not afraid to ride a hot hand, and there's no hotter hand than Thatcher Demko's right now. So so
Columbus.
Let's go. Columbus Tuesday night.
I think we beat the crap out of Columbus, honestly. You go first on that one.
So for the Blue Jackets in Vancouver, I am going to go 5-2 Vancouver.
Nice. I like that. I was about to say 4-2. I think I'm going to stick with 4-2. We went 4-0 against LA. Demko just kind of shut the door on him. I think he can do that to Columbus as well. I think we at least score 4 goals in that game, so we'll go with that.
All right. Then we have the San Jose Sharks.
On the road again.
On the road, yeah. First road game.
Which, kind of weird, we go on the road for one game and then we're back at home.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. And then again, we play 2 games at home and go to San Jose again.
That's super weird in the schedule, but
yeah, so in San Jose for this one, what do you think? Jonah Gadjevich might be in the lineup for the first.
I don't know if he's back from that injury on that shot or not. I really hope he is. I'd like to see him in the lineup.
Yep.
This one's tough because we're on the road. When we're on the road, sometimes I feel like we don't really have it. Like,
the nice thing with these ones, though, is it's the same time zone, right? So that's still...
So we're still playing it. This one's 9:30. Ouch.
Ooh,
that's going to be tough to stay up for, but we'll get her done.
Yep.
God, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with a closer game. I'll go 4-3 for the Vancouver Canucks, just because on the road sometimes it looks like we don't have a ton of jump, but I feel like our top guys will really perform in this one and get some goals.
I'm going to say...
Like, who's their tender even?
For San Jose?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It must
Aaron
be
Dell?
Yeah. See, he's not on Thatcher
and
Demko's
James
level.
Reimer, I think.
Yeah, we're taking the dub there.
I'll go 4-2 Vancouver.
Nice. I like that.
So, yeah, hopefully we kind of keep it up. And these are the teams, like that San Jose one, we gotta beat. That'll be our first West Coast team.
Yep.
Very weird Eastern Conference run that we're on right now, but
yeah.
That's kind of the one I have circled is the San Jose because, wins are always good, but when you beat a team in your division, that's just a little bit extra on top, and we need to do that right now to catch up to them. So.
100%, which I see Toronto, we play on Saturday at 6 p.m.
That'll be a good one.
So maybe that's a game where we might catch a little bit of the first period or something on the pod. I don't know. We'll see. We'll maybe make a plan for it, but we'll check it out.
Might happen. So yeah, let's go our Canuck of the week this week. And
that's easy.
Very easy for both of us.
Yeah, it's Thatcher Demko.
100% from both of us.
There's not even, and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, you could put Garland there. He's been lights out. You could put Besser there for getting a couple assists, couple goals. Yeah. He's been looking a little bit better as of late. Niels Höglander had a great game. He's not necessarily going to be the Canuck of the week for that, but Thatcher Demko, night after night, just performance after performance, keeping us in these games. I believe that he's the reason we got the win against Winnipeg.
Yep.
And just lights out. And I always look at the Gatorade performer of the game from the Vancouver Canucks, and I was kind of surprised they gave it to Hogg over Demko in that Winnipeg performance. I was like, honestly, we don't even get that win without Demko. So I think he got the Gatorade performance every other day besides that one, which he should have got that one as well. So he's the Canuck of the week.
Yeah, for both of us. Yeah. So what does Demko have, like 6 of these now, I think? It's ridiculous. But
he's been our best player all year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's just what happens when you're one of the best goalies in the league.
Yeah, seriously.
So we will get to a tweet of the week here, unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about.
No, I think we kind of covered it.
Okay, so this one goes to Steve at SteveRoller7. Hat tip to Stan Smeel, the only undefeated GM in Canucks history.
There we go.
So very true.
Tip of the cap to you.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll do it for episode 12 of the Canuckleheads podcast.
Pumping them out.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Chris, for editing. Go check out Chris's Instagram at Christian Ethics. I believe it's linked.
Yep.
Spotify, Apple,
YouTube,
anywhere there's podcasts, YouTube.
Subscribe, like, please comment down below. Either show us some love, give us some criticism. I don't care. Just show us some love.
Yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
for tuning in.
It's another one in the bag.